Okay, let me make sure I'm online. Okay, hello, I'm Alex from A.P. Inc. So today I had, I don't know, an idea for kind of, I don't know, a mashup of designs. Inspired by this picture of Easter eggs, decorated Easter eggs. So I'm going to give you the same reference. And what I think I'm going to do is kind of split up this paper and see if I can't fill in one area for each pattern. So this is kind of like mixed media paper. This is 11 inches. By 9 inches. I was thinking 1-inch squares, but that might be a bit too small, so maybe 2-inch squares. That'll leave me short on one. So maybe to make up the difference, I'll give myself a 1/2-inch border all the way around. So that should be 10 inches, which would be a little bit easier to divide for 2-inch squares. And then this way I can get away from the cutouts on the paper. Oh, okay. There is actual, this page actually, these cutouts can be ripped off. I don't know. I think, yeah, okay. So if I just measure up from the bottom, this is more than 1/2 inch. But to try to keep this straight. So I'm going to use a 0.7 fine liner to create the border. So I'm going to use the top perforation here as the top edge. But I guess just for, I can't see from that far away the perforation, but just for aesthetics, I guess, to put in this line. Let me just make sure. So 2-inch squares. Okay. So trying to decide which one to go for first. I think this kind of pink fuchsia. So this isn't necessarily going to come out 100% because I'm doing this square versus like egg shape or round. But I guess just to kind of play with the patterns. So I just measured down 1/2 inch and then 1/4 inch from there. So I measured up a quarter of an inch, and then I'm measuring up a quarter inch from that for the bottom detail. I'm measuring up another quarter inch to try to put in. I think there's supposed to be flowers of some sort. thought this bottom part was right, but it's way off. Trying to figure out what I'm looking at here. I think I need to make these bigger. Might try. I'm trying to figure for the space here and how close the top of these shapes are to the upper band. I don't know if you actually just saw that. If these are supposed to be flowers, how close they are to the upper band. So I'm measuring up a 1/2 inch. There's like random diamond shapes that come up. This shouldn't be as confusing as it is, but the lines here don't really make sense to me. Like, I don't want to call it AI, but how they kind of go into nothing doesn't make any sense to me. And so there's a flower shape here, a flower shape here, some kind of yellow triangle here. I thought diamonds or like triangles. Another flower shape. But the yellow triangle seems to go over top of the next flower. I don't understand what I'm looking at. I think I'm gonna go with just kind of flower shapes. try and get some form of symmetry going here, just for the sake of the pattern. So that the triangles kind of hit the same point. I mean, it could just be a matter of weird artifacting. Trying to keep the measuring points for the triangles the same. Like, maybe that's an abstract flower, but I think that's what maybe they were going for here. Okay, that's the first one. So I could do just black line art, but because this kind of ladder or trellis pattern is yellow, I feel obligated to try and do a yellow for that section. I don't have a yellow fine liner, but some of these markers do have bullet nibs, so I could try to take advantage of that. I mean, of course, I don't have bullet nibs. I've got brush tip or chisel nib, which if I'm careful, I could still use those in place of a bullet nib. But let me see what else I've got. That's a brush nib. I mean, I could just go... I'm trying to figure out how to do this, because I was thinking I could, like, go over the pencil with the base color and then go over for the liner, but yellow on top of this fuchsia is gonna make like an orange color. I suppose I could just go black liner, but it would take away from the color, the kind of yellow color. You know, I'm trying not to call everything AI, but the more I look at the finer details, the more it's getting hard to justify that. Like, can you see that? How wonky this is? Like, people still make things by hand. It could just be a bad photo, it could be artifacting. Anyways, I don't have a yellow fine liner, but I do have a red one. So I could try doing that. It's going to be kind of hard to get in between the little areas for the base color. So what I could try is maybe to roll over the pencil with a fine liner, go over with the base color, and then try to go over the whatever's left of the pencil with the fine liner. So if I did that, I want to see if the red fine liner will actually stand up against the base color. So maybe this A404, if I can find it. I think the red is dark enough that it'll show up. It might be kind of slight though. I could try this A402. I mean, it's not gonna 100% capture the reference. If I was set up to do this, I could actually try to duplicate the pattern with like thread. Like embroidery floss to actually glue it to the page. Okay, so I'm going for the lighter color, I think. I think the darker color, the fine liner is just gonna get lost in it. So I think it was the 402. It's been a really long time since I've used these markers. Okay. I don't think I'm going to be using these too much more, at least on this paper. I just thought because it's been so long since I've used these, I should actually give them a better chance, but just in doing that, it has peeled the paper. Not that there's anything wrong with these markers, just that this is not the right paper for it. Which kind of sucks after all the time I tried to put into getting the pattern right. I don't know, maybe I should try doing that one again. I think I should give it a minute to dry. So while it's drying, we'll try to move on to the next one. Because I'm just afraid that if I'm afraid if I try to go over it with the fine liner, I'm just gonna rip the paper. There's a white spot that I feel like shouldn't be there. Okay. So maybe this teal egg. If I should jump ahead, put in the base color, and then come back in to do the liner to put the pattern in. Because it's like white on teal. So maybe I could use a white gel pen to put the pattern in. So using these markers instead of the other markers. I don't really have a teal color. It's I don't know, maybe this mint blue, far lighter than the reference. I'm not necessarily trying to copy the reference, I mean, as evident here, but to try to get close to the colors. Okay, mint blue. I've had these for a minute. It almost looks like there's something growing on the marker. Interesting. Okay, I think I should give that a minute to dry because it's feeling awful wet. So we'll go. I think I'll set the next 3 up and try to come back. So I think this yellow one, which I think, sorry, I wasn't looking. That yellow one, which I'll have to split the color, and then I don't know if that's yellow and red or if it's yellow and orange. Kind of like a ketchup orange, maybe red and then orange. I also have to be more careful because it's bled. So I think we'll give the bottom for this one to measure up, I think 3/4 of an inch to split the difference. Yellow, red, or maybe like a ketchup red, ketchup orange, whatever. Okay, so I don't know, it's yellow and whatever red that is, but I'm thinking maybe pastel peach because I've only got one yellow. And I don't know, it seems too easy to run through the yellow and then there's just no yellow. Pastel peach. And then I think marigold. And then I think deep red. Which might be kind of hard because there's yellow decal spots on this red one that are probably going to be hard to duplicate after I do this. And I think for this orange one, I might go with marigold, which I've already used. I have used this paper before with marker, maybe not these markers. So I don't know if maybe I thought this was supposed to be akin to mixed media paper, but I'm thinking Not really. Like an off-brand mixed media paper. It looks like the camera can't tell the difference between these. They look I mean, they are like the same saturation. This one is deep red, this one is marigold. Okay. Going back to this one. It is dry. It's in rough shape. Let's see how well the paper handles more aggravation. I think I might switch off and just use black ink here. So I've got the same 0.7 fine liner. I thought this was going to be a cool idea, and maybe it still will. It's just the first one is going to look a bit rougher than I want. It's actually kind of hard to see. Thinking about it, I could have tried white gel pen. I don't know if that really would have been any better. Maybe I should have tried the red fine liner a bit more. It's too late for that. Okay. Not clean. Tried. Okay. So for this one, I think to concentrate the bands, these bands up here, and then try to create the kind of vines or branches down here. I wasn't looking. I hope you saw what I was trying to indicate. Okay, so I think to measure down 1/4 of an inch, to measure down 1/4 of an inch twice, so a 1/2 inch total. I should lay this all out first, but I'm really not sure this is going to come out anyway, so I guess let's just go with it. Like to actually have the white gel pen stand out against the color. Like this might be my fault for picking such a pale color. We'll go ahead and say it is my fault because I picked the color. I'm not happy with it. What do I do? I could say we'll just pretend this row didn't happen at all and move up here. Or should I pretend these two didn't happen? If I chose pastel pink, now I've got two different pastel pinks. But I want to go for this one. I want to see if white gel pen would actually stand out against it. That, and to see if I can make the paper peel. Which these markers don't seem to have a problem. It was the water base marker, Ultra H2O, so water based. To actually try something with watercolor paper with these markers. Anyways. Okay. Pastel pink. I could try going over this one with a darker color. I'm just not sure what that's going to do for the white gel pen that seems to have carved into the paper. I could try just to see what'll happen, because why not? Maybe blue. A marker that I have rarely used is struggling because it's dried out or drying out. Okay, to try to duplicate this pattern here, I'm thinking I might actually black this one out and try to recreate something with a white gel pen. I'm gonna give that one time to dry though. It's almost like if you've ever dyed Easter eggs, you can take white crayon and draw on the non-dyed egg, and then when you dye it, I the wherever you put the white crayon, you just have white spots. That's almost what this kind of feels like to me. So that was a 1/2 inch. Let's see if I can do this freehand. And then that was an 1/8 of an inch. I'm trying to be as subtle as I can with my marks, because I'm not mocking this up. I'm going direct in with the gel pen. Okay, I think I am going to cover this one with black ink just to give it a chance to dry before I come back to that one. So just maybe I can try to salvage this. paper is still rough for where that water marker kind of ate the paper. It's so rough. There's little pieces of paper stuck to the nib now. How long did I actually take making that first one? Because I am rapidly running out of time. I wish I had Posca pens. Like, I've got one, but the nib is way too fat for this. Okay, coming back to this one, I'm gonna go over that line, these lines again, because I actually need 3. One for the top, then this pattern, then this pattern. So I'm going to go through and try to freehand these leaves or whatever the plant is. It kind of looks like somebody cut out little strips of paper to glue to this egg. Like maybe it's some kind of paint. Maybe I should actually pull my Posca pen. I just think the nib on it is way too big for this. I was hoping I'd actually be able to get a good portion of these done. I'm not sure what I spent my time doing. Cover up this pencil. Okay. Like I said, I was hoping to get, I don't know, more than potentially 2 done. I'm not sure what I just spent an hour and a half on, but I have run out of time, so I think I will have to try to come back to this. If you'd like to hang out with me again and see how much more I can rip the paper up and throw all my markers on the floor, please make sure that you're following me and that your notifications are turned on so that you're notified for whenever I go live. If you are watching this after the fact, I always forget to say this, but if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube and you have any questions about any of the supplies I use, check the description of the video. I have everything listed there. The paper, the pencils, white gel pen, all of the markers, the brands, fine liners, whatever. I have it all listed there on all of my videos. You can go back to the very first video I posted and everything will be listed. But anyways, thank you to anybody who watched or watches. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Bye.